place that gets you in the end. The lacuna. Please go away. Go and away. It's 2 words, 1 verb, 1 adverb. Very easy to comprehend. No hable inglés? Para español? Vete, por favor.
Mr. Radler?
Mr. Radler will cease to exist if his privacy is respected.
My name's Sarah Brownstein.
Go away, go away. Now, are you some kind of crazed lunatic, armed with an assault rifle, ready to kill a stranger in his apartment?
No.
Oh. Are you a carrier of some contagion like the Ebola virus?
No.
Do you have a cudgel?
A cudgel?
A cudgel, a stout stick that is used to smash the skull of one's enemies.
I know what a cudgel is, and no, I don't have one, nor do I possess a mace, a ball-peen hammer, or a large rock.
So you are not here to kill me?
It hadn't crossed my mind until now.
All right. FedEx should offer that service when you absolutely, positively have to die.
Hi. I'm a comic. Well, I'm just starting out, and I signed up for your comedy class. Is this a bad time?
It's always a bad time.
Your flyer. I found it at the Improv. Learn to be funny.
Learn to be funny.
I thought I had the wrong day. I was the only one there at the class.
That's because you were the only one who signed up.
To be perfectly honest, I had a hard time tracking you down. Why weren't you there?
Why wasn't I where?
At the comedy class.
Well, it's always better when there are more people in the audience than on the stage.
Anyway, I'm here now.
Yes, you are.
So can we reschedule, or how do you want to work it?
How do I want to work what?
The comedy class. I'm ready to learn, to be a comic. To learn to be funny.
Well, you can't.
I can't?
No, you can't.
That's your flyer, right?
Yes.
I'm a great student, and I love learning.
It's impossible.
What?
To learn to be funny. It's impossible.
Why is it impossible? Nothing's impossible.
Nothing's impossible. How about a quadriplegic midget playing in the NBA?
Well, okay, but what about comedy?
You can't learn to be funny. It's not carpentry.
I'd like to try.
The naivety you show is adorable. But the truth is, an unfunny person cannot learn to be funny, just like an ugly person cannot learn to be attractive.
Well, that's cynical.
Yes, it is. Well, that you can learn.
Well, what's with the flyers then?
I didn't think anyone would be interested if I put out a flyer that said, you can't learn to be funny, but send me your money anyway.
So it's just a scam?
Yes.
Well, then I'd like my money back.
What money?
Nice try. I have the canceled check.
Well, I have to look through my records.
Records? Seriously?
Well, leave me your address and I'll have some of my people send you a refund.
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
You're not going to send me a check.
You're right, I'm not.
Okay, well, I'll just call the cops and have you arrested for fraud. We have a contract.
I don't recall signing anything.
Doesn't matter. You offered services. I accepted and gave you the consideration. You cashed the check. That's an agreement. 10 classes.
Are you a lawyer?
Well, no, but my husband, ex-husband is.
I see. Now it's all starting to make sense.
What is?
Oh, you're around 34 or something?
33.
Let me guess, you have no children.
So?
And you've been single now for what, 6 months?
8.
Okay, 8. And all your gal pals who were there for you when your husband left. Let me guess, he was playing hide the tort with his legal secretary.
Yeah, he was. Pro bono.
And all your friends who commiserated with you about Paul or Dean or Reginald or whatever your ex's name was, well, they aren't really there for you anymore, are they?
Well, they have their lives and I have mine, but I don't see what that has to do with me wanting to learn about comedy.
It has everything to do with it.
I mean, yes, you could say I have some time on my hands and I'm a glass half full kind of person, so I thought this would be a good time to, well, pursue something that I've wanted to do for a long time. I have no musical ability or artistic talent. I mean, I can't draw or paint or anything like that, but I can be pretty funny with my...
Don't say your girlfriends. Because your friends can't be a measure of what's funny. I mean, that's why not. You want one?
It's 10 a.m.
Yeah, you're right.
You always drink in the morning?
When I'm not dead.
So, I want to learn to be a comic.
No, you don't.
I don't?
No, you don't. You're just looking for something to make you happy.
Well, I think it'd be a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah, fun. Oh, fun. Yeah, right.
Yeah, to come up with some funny jokes, understand, humor.
Yeah, creating comedy is not a cure. It is an affliction.
An affliction? Do I have the right address? This is where I was told Roy Radler lived.
Yeah, do you want advice? Get a cat.
I have a cat.
Get another cat. Okay, or a hobby. Volunteering, I'm told, is a wonderful way to kill time. Helping old people, or the retarded, or the crippled.
Retarded or crippled? What is this, 1970?
Learning about comedy is not going to make you happy. In fact, on the contrary, if you truly understand what real comedy is, you will be completely disillusioned. And if you end up being an excellent comedian, you will likely experience a great deal of depression.
Is this apartment some kind of portal to an alternate universe?
I'm just trying to save you from a lot of misery.
Misery?
Yes, you think you want to learn about comedy. You think it's going to be laughs all the time, but that's really not quite how it works.
How does it work?
Yes, how it works. Do you know what a comedian does?
It makes people laugh.
No. Do you know what they do?
Jokes, routines, bits, sketches.
Comics, good comics, do not view the world through the same looking glass as civilians.
Civilians?
Good comedians are social alchemists. We look at the world, which is full of hate and violence and war and general ugliness, and we poke fun at it. We turn tragedy into punchlines.
Okay.
We manufacture the illusion that the world is a terrific place where we can all laugh all day long rather than cry uncontrollably.
I was just hoping to learn a little something about comedy.
Well, that's what you think you want, but you really want something else.
Oh, so now you read minds too?
Your reason is no different from anyone else's.
Well, first of all, you don't even know me, and secondly, human beings are individuals. No two are alike, like snowflakes.
Wrong? No. You, for some reason, are seeking affirmation.
Affirmation?
You may not realize it yet, but you're asking for permission.
Permission? Permission to do what?
To be who you are.
I'm a self-confident woman who doesn't need anyone's permission or affirmation. Thank you very much.
Well, then you'll be a terrible comic.
Why?
What kind of person do you think becomes a comedian?
A funny one.
A funny one. You'll notice when you found yourself with time on your hands, you decided to do something that requires praise from complete strangers.
I don't think I understand.
Your insecurities. That is what has driven you here today.
It takes courage to get on stage, doesn't it?
Comedy, art, music, unless they are done to amuse oneself, which would be sad, all need thumbs up from other human beings.
Comedy or art can't be a hobby?
Well, then you'd be a hobbyist, wouldn't you? You would not be an artist. I'm afraid that unless you have a decidedly narcissistic personality with depressive tendencies, you are not going to last as a artist.
You know what? This is ridiculous. I'm in a filthy apartment talking to a man in his underwear at 10 in the morning giving me his sketchy philosophy on the psyche of the comedian.
It is ridiculous, which begs the question, why are you here?
I want to learn about comedy, how to write good jokes. I heard you were the guy.
Oh, is that right?
It's obvious I heard wrong, so I guess I can just cut my losses. And...
Whoa, 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 whoa. Who?
Who what?
I mean, let's not do the Abbott and Costello. Who was speaking of me?
Why does that matter?
Well, I'm just curious. Was it Dom?
I don't know anyone named Dom.
Oh, I love Dom. Or Cap. Is it Cap? Big fan of Cap. I used to write a lot of his stuff. Oh, Cap, yeah. He's a great guy. Good old Cap.
It was some other guy at an open mic in the Valley. Said you were the man, a real wordsmith, the Shakespeare of comedy writing.
Shakespeare? Well, somebody who knows me, obviously.
Another comedian in line at the audition. It doesn't really matter anyway.
Whoa. Audition?
Yeah, the Great American Comedy Search audition.
Great. You auditioned for a contest.
Yeah, I auditioned, but it didn't go well. I'm not ready. That's why I wanted to become a student, to really learn about...
Judging art.
It's a television show. Jeremy Pendleton, you know the comedian? He's the host and producer.
Jeremy Pendleton. Oh, Jeremy Pendleton. Oh, you know that guy? Oh, listen, sweetheart, I think it's time for you to get out of here.
He's going all over the country to find the next great young...
Pendleton! Oh! He is the worst comedian on the face of the planet. He makes Howie Mandel look like Mark Twain. Jeremy Pendleton. Oh, I can barely say the name without tasting something vile in my mouth. He's the scourge of the comedy world. The hack of all hacks. He is about as funny as bathing in nettles.
So, not a fan.
I have to get back to what I was doing.
Cleaning your apartment?
No.
Putting on some pants?
Observational humor. It is my favorite.
Well, it's pretty obvious.
I have some errands to run.
What about the comedy class?
Here's the comedy class. Don't become a comedian.
What kind of class is that?
An investment in your future happiness.
Well, that's not really what I had in mind.
I'm giving you very good advice. In fact, excellent advice. Ensuring your future happiness. Don't get involved with comedy.
That's not what I paid for.
Well, maybe not, but it's money well spent.
Money, well, you were the worst teacher I've ever met.
Thank you! Tell your friends!
Once I was bored while sitting in class, so I pushed out a big fart of gas. Teacher said that I had no class, but it's just a burp from my big ass.
Stop! This is my dream. Get out!
What's the matter, Roy? Don't you like this song? I wrote a new verse.
It's a scourge to the senses.
Once I was out with a girl so refined. At a nice meal, she was wine and dine. I ordered the brie, said pass the knife, please. I'm a classy guy, I'll cut the cheese.
Oh! Bravo! Bravo!
Oh, it's funny, come on.
How many times must we have this argument? It is not funny.
Yeah, just because you don't think it's funny doesn't mean it's not funny. Lots of people love this song. Millions bought the album.
I say it's not funny, so it's not.
So that's always been your biggest problem with comedy, Roy. Your arrogance.
Really? Well, you know the biggest problem with your comedy?
What?
Your comedy.
It's heard, not seen.
Oh.
Some thunder from down under when you're eating beans. Brave dog, but something smells like a latrine. You may fear your oozing poo, but it's just air. A trouser train that goes to toot.
You may fear your oozing poo. Yes! Oh! That is worthy of a command performance.
Thank you.
You should have your agent call the royal family. The Queen loves oozing poo jokes.
No, it's not meant to be clever, Roy.
Song parody is the lowest form of humor on the planet. It is puerile scatology.
Thought you were doing yourself in.
Yeah. Well, I got sidetracked.
Oh, yeah, right, the new comic. She's keen, eh? Seems clever, too.
I'm not interested in teaching.
Well, not like you're doing anything else. You don't perform anymore, and all you're doing here is pretending to kill yourself. Look, I'm surprised you'd be doing it in here all alone, Roy. Someone like you would like an audience.
Well, topping oneself is not really a participation sport.
Well, it would get you some attention. Perhaps a sidebar in Variety. Once well-known comedy writer gets the last laugh.
That would be your style. Something And you'd do anything to get to publicity.
Oh, it is the new gal. Otherwise, what, you'd have drank yourself into a wet grave, and not that you haven't been trying.
The only thing stopping me is the possibility you'll show up in my eternal sleep. And that would truly be hell.
Well, you must admit, she has you all stirred up.
Well, you never know.
The only time you dream about me is when you're thinking about comedy. Yeah, and you never know, she might be funny. The next big thing.
Well, she might end up like you mean?
Yeah, sure, room at the top for everyone.
Are you here for long because I have sleep to catch up on?
Oh, hey! This is your magnum opus? How's it coming along?
It's almost done.
Oh, is it really, Roy, or is that the dream talking? I mean, you've been writing it forever.
Well, good things require time to create.
Well, you'll have to let me read it.
Oh, when did that happen?
What?
When did you learn to read?
Can't even be nice to me in a dream, can you?
He can't be nice to anyone, it seems.
What are you doing here? This is my dream! Get out!
I can't believe you don't think Jeremy is funny.
Roy thinks he should be the sole judge of everything comedy.
No! No, I don't! The judge is quality itself. Without quality, there is nothing. There's no drama. There is no comedy. Life itself cannot exist without it.
But if it gets a laugh, doesn't that make it funny?
Oh, where do I begin? First of all, comedy is a true art form. And art is what transcends man from the black, necrotizing pit of his everyday drudgery. Without art, and specifically without comedy, life would not be worth living.
See, Roy, that's why I've made money in comedy and you haven't. You're too bloody serious all the time. People don't need to be reminded that life can be dark. It's just comedy.
Just comedy. Oh, that's the problem. You treat comedy like it's meaningless and impersonal.
Like sex with a hooker.
Yes, take the high road once again.
Are you kidding me? He's got an amazing career. How many comics have done what Jeremy's done? Sitcoms, movies, concerts.
Art could never be about quantity.
Roy likes to pretend that he doesn't want what I have.
What? Like your bid on buying extra small condoms so your penis looks bigger?
Success?
Success. What success? Oh, you're talking about money.
Hey, it's not just money, although there is plenty of it.
Yes. From that racist puppet.
Jihad Jerry? I love Jihad Jerry.
Oh, somebody has been talking about me, yes? Oh, I heard my name. Now somebody gonna get blown up real good.
This nightmare just keeps getting worse.
Hey, Jihad Jerry, what have you been up to? Oh, you know, not much. Trying to sell some used cars.
Oh, yeah? How's that working out?
Oh, pretty good. I have a nice one. Very low mileage. Only been blown up once.
Please, let me wake up dead.
I am keeling tonight. As a matter of fact, I'm keeling every night.
Is there no depth to which you will not sink?
Oh, come on. It's funny.
It's racist!
No, how can it be racist? The dummy's an Arab.
The puppet's turban is made out of children's underpants!
Oh, yeah. It's a bit of fun.
No, you're so dim. You know that? You're so dim. Don't you tell me you don't think this is racist.
Of course it is. Probably why it's so popular.
It's a sweeping generalization that implies all Arabs are suicide-bombing terrorists. And the people who like this comedy are as ignorant as those who create it.
Comedy is subjective. Not everyone likes the same things. And what about the freedom for the comic to do and say anything?
It's artless.
Yeah, you despise the comics that are successful. That's envy. That's all it is.
Your success only affirms my suspicion that the human race is doomed.
Oh, don't you ever get tired of that?
Yes! But I feel like the only guy in the whole camp who's saying, hey, I don't know, this Kool-Aid might not be all it's cracked up to be. But everyone else is saying, hey, I don't know, this Kool-Aid's pretty great. I mean, everybody else is drinking it. Why don't we all drink it?
That's how you become a star.
And what's wrong with being popular? I mean, there's plenty of great comics who are popular.
Yeah, my last comedy special set ratings records. 20 million people. Can't be wrong.
I think Stalin would disagree.
Stalin never had a TV show.
You know how hard it is to do something of substance with this garbage floating around? It poisons the pool.
It's entertainment.
Oh, why would anyone believe that you were entertaining? That is beyond my ken.
Beyond your what?
My ken.
Who's Ken?
Jesus! It's outside my ken, beyond my understanding of things.
Well, why don't you just say that? You and your big words all the time.
Nobody but you would ever think a three-letter word was big!
Hey, what? Oh, man, why you gotta be like that?
Oh, since language is my medium, I like to employ more than just rudimentary English. If you don't understand what I'm talking about, it's up to you to go and figure it out. I shouldn't lower myself to your level. That's what you do.
But what is it that I do?
You pander.
Popularity isn't a sin.
No, but pandering is. Doing what you think the audience will like, finding the lowest common denominator and singing to it. Beethoven didn't sit down and say, oh, geez, I wonder if they'll like this one. Bum, 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 bum. No! He just wrote it, and he trusted his genius.
So you'd rather not be popular?
The pet rock was popular, meaning you can sell anything to anyone, including Jeremy is funny.
But I have a following. They like what I do. It makes people feel better. So what if it's meaningless?
At the end of the day, if they aren't laughing, well, what's the point?
Let me give you a history lesson. In the Renaissance, there were two types of court jesters.
Oh, here we go.
One was a clown that people laughed at. He was the village idiot. The other was granted power by decree. Kings and queens respected him for his insight. He could be honest and truthful because he had the talent to criticize in a risible way.
Risible?
Yeah, normal people just say funny.
Yeah, but there's different kinds of comedy. Why can't we like someone like Roy Radler and Jeremy Pendleton?
Well, because if you like Jeremy Pendleton, you're an idiot! And if you're an idiot, you couldn't possibly like my comedy! It's like saying your two favorite things to read are Madame Bovary and People magazine.
There are some very important articles in People magazine.
Yeah, and more to the point, my act kills.
Of course, because you appeal to the simpletons and troglodytes by playing on stereotypes.
If you say so.
No, you say so. Come on. Oh, this is good. Come on. Do the Chinese waiter. Oh, you're going to love this. Oh, come on, do it.
Well,
It's for old time's sake.
Okay, all right. What's the point of this exactly?
Well, I'd like to demonstrate why your material sucks.
This bit killed on my European tour.
And so did Hitler on his European tour.
Okay, just for you, Roy. All right. You want the number 5 special beef and broccoli or number 6 special broccoli and beef? It's same thing. Kung Pao shrimp is half price. Rats and babies.
It's funny.
Yeah.
Not like a aha kind of funny, but it's hilarious.
They laugh because it's a funny accent. An accent that is seen by Western society as something to be laughed at.
I get that.
Good. Now I'd like to get back to a dream that isn't going to give me shingles. Please get out of my house.
No, Roy, you ever wonder why you dream about me instead of beautiful Brazilian women?
No, I try not to think about
That's because you're obsessed with me, Roy. Absolutely obsessed.
Haunted, more like. Haunted. Hey! Hey!
Open up, please. I left my bag.
Hey, hang on a second.
Thank you. Yeah, my bag, I left it.
Okay.
Do I have to count my money?
Only if you want to find out how much I stole.
Well, I'll say this, it's been interesting.
Hang on.
What?
Do you know what risible means?
Why would you ask me that?
Doesn't matter.
It means to be funny. It's an adjective. I mistakenly thought you were risible.
So you don't have any place else to go today?
I substitute teach. No call today, thankfully.
Well, it's not your cup of tea teaching, is it?
I was subbing for a grade 1 class last week. 2 boys peed their pants and another one kept grabbing at my boob. It's like waitressing in a country bar. Is this a script?
Yes, it is.
Comedy. That's it. That's the title.
Well, so far.
So it's a comedy, I'm guessing?
Wow. Once again, your observational skills are spot on.
You can't really be that much of an asshole, can you?
Actually, I think I can, yes.
Well, it's amateur night at the Laugh Factory. If I'm not there by noon, I won't get a spot.
I can't teach you to be funny.
Yeah, you've made that pretty clear.
I can only tell you what I know.
Well, I guess that's all I can expect.
So, since you won't heed my warnings, we may as well make a start. Okay, so what was it I so fraudulently offered you?
10 lessons.
Okay. I don't think it'll take 10 lessons, but come on.
What?
Come on, get up on stage.
Here?
Yeah, I'm not really dressed to go out.
You want me to get on the table?
Yes, you must have an act of some sort.
Well, yeah, but it's a little strange.
Okay, it's showtime.
Okay, fine. Okay, so this is my impression of,
You suck! You suck! No, please, come on.
Asshole.
No, I want you to learn something. This is learning.
No, it's your turn.
This is learning. It's part of the plan. Come on, just get back
Can
up.
I finish?
Up you go. It's part of my lesson plan.
Okay,
Come on, I promise you'll learn something.
okay. So, this is my impression.
Get off the stage! Okay. Come on, that's it. Come on. Wait. Hang on.
Why won't you? I'm trying to do my bit. Okay? So, I'm just gonna.
If you wanted to be humiliated, I imagine you would stay married. Well, that's not why I'm doing this, okay? I should have been more clear. That was part of the lesson.
Which is what? That Roy Radler is a knob?
Touche. Wait. Just listen. I'm going to teach you something. I promise.
But what? How to piss people off?
I'm trying to show you that stand-up can be a battle, especially in the beginning.
And yelling at me helps how exactly?
It's about controlling the audience. Now, come on. I promise no more of that.
All right.
All right. Now, look. Come over here. What do you see?
I see a filthy window that hasn't been cleaned for years.
Imagine an audience. A collection of strangers challenging you to make them laugh.
They're the jury.
No, they are not the jury. That is the paradox. Just because they don't laugh doesn't mean you're not funny. And just because they do doesn't mean you are.
Okay, so they're not the barometer?
No. And if a comic is seduced by them, it is over.
Really? Why?
Well, comics love an audience that makes him or her feel good, but it is dangerous. An indiscriminate audience can make the comic lazy and unfunny.
So I'm not supposed to please the audience?
No, it's not about pleasing them. It's about pleasing yourself.
So it's a hedonistic exercise.
More than you know.
So it can be fun.
Well, fun is the wrong word. It can be, well, it can be rewarding. Yes, but it's more like a high that no drug can reproduce. We can never call it fun.
I mean, the audience is important, right? And I get that they're all different.
The audience is an elusive thing. They can build you up, they can tear you down. They can gush with adoration and fortify your confidence and make you feel like you're invincible, like you're loved unconditionally. Or they can hold back their approval, making you feel confused and worthless.
God, it sounds like my mother.
You, the comic, you are the one who will lead them.
Lead them?
Lead them into the land of...
Milk and funny?
Did you just say a pun?
Sorry.
Yes, please stop that. It helps to understand that the audience will be full of nitwits.
That is so judgmental. How can you possibly know that?
Well, because the world is full of nitwits. And the audience is just a microcosm of the world.
Yeah, but without the audience, there's no show.
Well, that is true. Without an audience, the comedy is only in one's head. But the comedy still exists, nonetheless. Now.
Oh, you want me to...
Yes, let's try it again.
Okay, this now.
It's okay. Just go for it. I promise not to judge.
Okay. So this is my impression of Buddha masturbating.
You're right, it is stupid.
You said you wouldn't judge.
No, it's literally stupid.
Well, it got laughs when I did it last time.
Yeah? Well, it's good. It's not good. And you know why? Here's the reason it's not good. In fact, here's why it's the opposite of good. Since Buddha was a real human being, he only had 2 arms. Vishnu, on the other hand, if you pardon that pun, is a Hindu god. It's not even the same religion.
People laugh.
Because you look like a spastic monkey.
I know Vishnu is the god with all the arms.
Ah, so you chose to contrive the setup.
I didn't think anyone would know Vishnu. Buddha is more recognizable.
But the joke doesn't work. The math is all wrong.
What math?
The mathematics of the joke. The reason a joke is funny.
The reason?
Of course there's a reason. Well, what do you think a joke is?
I don't know, a setup and a punchline.
A joke is simply the juxtaposition of the incongruent. Things that don't go together. Rich and poor. Love and hate. Sickness and health. Marriage and divorce. Life and death. A joke can represent the vagaries of life. A good joke must be real.
Real. Honest.
Yes, be honest. And don't underestimate the intelligence of the audience.
What? You just said the audience was stupid.
No, I didn't. I said it would be filled with nitwits. Don't play to them.
Okay, so don't pander.
Exactly.
And don't be contrived.
Good comedy has to possess a level of authenticity. It has to come from you, your experiences, your thoughts, what you like, what you hate. If it's not coming from your experience, why bother? Why don't you just tell us a bunch of street jokes? They'll laugh, and at the end of the day, there's no satisfaction in it.
What are street jokes?
I forgot. I'm talking to a civilian. Street jokes. A Jew, a Catholic, and a horse walk into a bar. That's a street joke. A terrible one, I grant you, but a street joke. So, that will give you no satisfaction.
But no satisfaction for whom?
For you.
For my pleasure.
For your experience. You will then connect to the audience, your audience, and then, and only then, will you understand comedy.
Wow, it's kind of a lot to take in.
Yeah, it is. So, you chose to talk about Buddhism. Well, why do you think you did that?
My first boyfriend, he was into it. I guess it was in the back of my mind.
Okay. You dated a Buddhist. This is the setup.
Okay, so what's so funny about that? I mean, he broke my heart.
Oh, that's good.
That's good?
Oh, yes. The best comedy comes from pain. The only cure for sorrow is laughter. Well, that's what they say.
Well, he ended up with alopecia. I like to think it was karma.
Well, alopecia is a good look for a Buddhist.
Is that it? That's the joke?
Maybe. But I like the idea of your saying something personal. It's the beginning of an intimacy with other human beings.
You mean the nitwits?
No. With those who you want to make a connection with. People who will empathize. Or empathize, even. If you can do that, you can create something that's lasting.
Lasting. Unlike my relationships.
Love, friendships, and, well, art. It's what the human being craves. And all of these things must be about the truth.
It can set you free and hurt you. It's
Life. And if you're honest, you're vulnerable, which is important.
Can't it just be funny? It sounds so formal. And what about just making people laugh?
Well, there's nothing wrong with it per se, but you don't need me if you want to just be a clown. So, let's get back to it. I dated a Buddhist.
You know what? Maybe you're right. Maybe I'm not really cut out for this. Maybe I am just looking for something to do.
Maybe you are.
To be honest, I thought the Vishnu thing was clever. And now I'm embarrassed that I thought it was funny. I'm probably wasting my time and wasting yours too, so...
Well, maybe you are funny.
I guess I'll never know.
Well, you should know by now.
I've only done a couple of open mic nights.
Well, I'm not talking about being a comedian. I'm talking about you. Are you funny?
I don't know.
Well, just remember the first time you made a group of people laugh. Everybody remembers that. When was it?
I was 14, I guess.
Okay.
My older sister organized a surprise anniversary party for my parents. Our house was packed with people. My dad's car pulls into the driveway, and my sister starts screaming at everyone to hide. She's like, "They're coming, be quiet!" And I get the giggles, but my sister loses it. She's like, "Shut up, they're gonna hear, they'll all know we're here." And so I blurt out, "Well, now I know how Anne Frank felt."
That is funny!
Yeah, I guess it kind of is.
And you don't know where that line came from, do you?
No, not at all.
Well, it's not like you thought, hey, if I'm ever at a surprise party and someone yells, "Be quiet," it'd be funny if I said, "Oh, I feel like Aunt Frank."
Well, of course not, it just kind of came out.
That's because you've got the funny. And not everybody has that. Even a lot of professional stand-up comedians don't have it.
Even my sister laughed. People still tell the story.
That's because humor makes life memorable. You think anyone would tell that story if it went like this? So then they came in, and we said, "Surprise," and then we ate the cake.
No, I guess they wouldn't.
No, because it would be ordinary. And no one wants to be ordinary.
This is going to be harder than I thought.
Yes. So, let's go back to the setup. I dated a Buddhist.
Yeah, okay. I dated a Buddhist.
No. No. How about this? I tried dating a Buddhist.
I tried dating a Buddhist. What's the difference?
Well, saying I tried communicates the idea that there is a risk involved.
And what does that do?
Well, it opens up the possibility of more punchlines. You can compare it to other risky activities. Like, you ever go skydiving or something like that?
Bungee jumped in Australia,
Okay.
at 300 meters off a bridge.
And no real value in that, really, just the adrenaline rush.
Yeah, but what a rush. You think you're going to die, and then before you hit the river, bang, the bungee starts pulling you back up. It's an amazing feeling.
So, why'd you do something so risky? People have died, right?
Yeah, but you only live once.
So there you go. I tried dating a Buddhist because...
You only live once.
a joke is born.
Yeah, I see that.
And you see why it's a joke, right? Why it's funny.
Yeah, I think so. There's kind of a contradiction in the line.
And in a small way, it speaks truth to power.
Power? It's not like the Buddhists are going to be jackbooting their way into the country.
No. But when you make that statement, you only live once, it contradicts their entire belief system. That little bit of truth makes it a good joke.
Whose truth? Millions of people believe in life after death.
Just because you believe in something, that doesn't make it true.
All I want to know is what the hell is the matter with you?
What?
This is great. All you do is gripe about the state of comedy, and you have this.
Well, it's a script, so what?
So what? It's fantastic. Story, characters, the language is rich.
Well, it's not finished.
What does lacuna mean?
Well,
Really, you can't just tell me?
well, if I told you, then you'd know what I thought it meant.
Lacuna. An unfilled space. So it's like a hole.
Well, that's the subtlety of English. It's an unfilled space. It's not a hole. If I wanted to say hole, I would have written hole.
Well, you got something here. It's like the decline and fall of the Roman Empire, but hilarious. There's only one thing. I don't think he should die at the end.
Well, yeah, really? Well, maybe you should write your own story.
He shouldn't give up after all he goes through.
Well, he's been defeated. There's a difference.
Yeah, but if there were more hope, it would just be better.
Then I'd lose the veracity of the entire thing. The reason he dies in the end is because comedy is dead.
I disagree.
Well, there was a time when comedy, even on television, used to say something important. The Smothers Brothers, it was a simple comedy sketch show. It was canceled by Nixon for undermining the Vietnam War.
All about money.
No, it wasn't. The show was the biggest moneymaker for the network at the time, and the government still shut it down. Nixon knew the power of a joke.
Nixon? He really cared that much?
Oh, he was on Laugh-In in 1968 before he was president. Nixon himself claimed it got him elected.
Comedy has that kind of power?
Oh yeah, people saw him on a comedy and thought, well, I guess he can't be that bad.
Really? You think that's true?
Yes, I know it's true. I have empirical evidence.
I can't believe a president would actually care what was on television.
Oh, yes. Popular comedies were Nixon's radar. He talked about the Oval Office in the Oval Office all the time. Nixon hated All in the Family.
It was just a sitcom. Why would he hate it?
Well, it wasn't just a sitcom. It was about civil rights and human dignity. It dealt with racism and gay pride and religious tolerance. Nixon talked about the show with Ehrlichman on the famous tapes.
Seriously? I don't believe it.
Well, there was an episode where Archie finds out that his old football buddy is gay. First time in television, a gay character was on the screen.
The leader of the free world, and he's worried about some comedy?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Nixon understood that comedy was power. It could make people see things differently.
You're talking like some sort of conspiracy nut.
Here, the Nixon transcripts.
This is insane. You just keep these on your shelf because...
Yeah, because it proves that I'm right. I'll be Nixon, you be Ehrlichman.
Well, Archie is sitting there with his hippie son-in-law, who's married to a screwball daughter. And the son-in-law apparently goes both ways.
Stop, you're making this up.
I swear on the grave of George Carlin, these are from the Nixon tapes.
It's just so absurd.
This guy comes in, and he's obviously queer. He wears an ascot, and he's very clever, and he uses nice language. Arch goes down to the bar, and he sees his old friend, his best friend, who used to play professional football. He's virile, he's strong. And then the fairy comes into the bar.
The president said fairy?
Oh, it gets better.
So I don't mind homosexuality. I understand it. But don't glorify it on television any more than you glorify whores.
Whores? Stop, I'm gonna cough up my liver.
This is the funny part. Nixon says,
You know what happened to the Greeks? Homosexuality destroyed them.
And here I thought it was good old political corruption.
no, apparently it was all the buggery.
Aristotle was a homo. We all know that. So was Socrates.
Oh my god, it's unbelievable.
And this is what makes my point. Your magic moment. Ehrlichman says,
But Socrates never had the influence of television.
see?
So Ehrlichman thinks Socrates, one of the great philosophers, had no influence because there was no television?
Because All in the Family was a comedy, a brilliant comedy. It was able to tell America the truth. That Archie Bunker was a bigoted character who represented much of the country.
Look what Nixon says about the Russians.
The Russians! God damn it, they root them out, don't they? I don't know what they do with them. Look at this country. You think the Russians will allow dope and homosexuality?
So Nixon admired Russia. Interesting.
And Russia is still a homophobic country with anti-gay laws. Jesus, they put Pussy Riot in jail. Why? Because they wrote a song about Putin.
Come to think of it, you don't hear about Russian comedians very often.
And you know why? All Russia's good comics are in gulags. And we got Yakov fucking Smirnov.
You honestly think comedy has some kind of revolutionary power?
You see, Nixon was a Quaker. He believed these things about immorality. He represented old America, a racist, homophobic world power. Comedy shone a light on it. Comedians like Lenny Bruce and George Carlin and Richard Pryor pointed out the facade of America. And things changed. Not because of comedy, not just because of comedy, of course not. But it helped. And comedy can make an ugly society look at itself without being completely revolted. They don't turn away and ignore it. They confront it because it moves them with humor.
Not the same today. There are great comics out there and great television.
It's lost its relevance. So much bad comedy, it's made anything meaningful seem unimportant.
It's easier to sell the schlock, but there's always been schlock, and I mean, if people like it, what's the harm?
Well, it's diluted the tonic. Comedy once had the capacity to make the world a richer place.
Never took you for a lover of mankind.
Well, satire and irony are the most effective way to illuminate hypocrisy. It's the light that shines on the naked emperor. Comedy that's about something is, well, it's becoming endangered.
Maybe it's because there's all this media now.
Well, you used to have talent to get on television. Now you just have to be a drug addict or never throw anything away. I'm going out for the evening. Lock up when you leave, please.
This was at the door.
Oh, thank you.
You won't believe who I met while I was in line at the Laugh Factory.
Look at that. In excellent condition. Just as advertised.
Voyage of the Beagle. Ah, Charles Darwin. Read that in high school.
He wrote it just after his second expedition.
You want to guess?
Darwin didn't start out as an evolutionist.
Yeah, I know. He was going to be an Anglican minister.
No, that's too subtle.
Do you want to guess?
Guess what?
Who I ran into, who I met at the Laugh Factory. Give you a hint. You know him. He knows you. He's a comic. Famous comic.
Darwin didn't start out as an evolutionist, but gradually, over time.
Master is at work, I see.
Oh.
He gave me a ride back in his Maserati.
As usual, a clever little joke.
So, you've met Jeremy Pendleton, or as I like to call him, Cancer of the Funny Bone.
I was waiting in line at the Laugh Factory, and he starts talking to all the amateurs.
Yeah, you know, the newbies, they love to hear stories of the rich and famous.
And everyone's asking for autographs, and then he apologizes to me for getting cut from the audition. So I tell him I'm getting better because I'm working with, Roy Radler's teaching.
Yeah, and I tell Sarah here how I was in her shoes at one time.
Never told me Jeremy lived here.
Well, that'd be like bragging you once had bedbugs.
Oh. Miss that vitriol.
Well, what are you doing here anyway? You just come to see how a real comedy writer works?
Well, I came to compliment you on the new script, Roy. You finally finished the manifesto, and I must say, I am impressed.
Where did you get that?
I was reading it in line.
You know, I think we could do something with this. Make a great series.
Yeah, well, I'm not interested in doing television.
No, why not? In fact, why don't you dust off your act and come down and join the contest?
Oh, yeah. The last time I did television, you stole my laughs.
Oh, boy.
How is that possible?
Roy thinks...
Well, we both taped Evening at the Improv on the same night. I killed, Jeremy, not surprisingly, bombed. And then they edited my laughs into his set.
Seriously?
Huh. They cut Roy out of the show, not because he didn't do well.
Well, they wanted to cut half my set. And then I told them to stick it.
Yeah, Roy did a joke about why there isn't more Palestinian pitchers in Major League Baseball.
Yeah, they called me a racist. I got huge laughs because it was a great joke.
It'd be so exciting if you threw your hat in the ring.
Yeah, I don't do contests.
Why not?
Because you can't compare art. It's like putting up a Kandinsky and a Monet and trying to pick which one is better.
Well, are you trying to say that comedians aren't competitive? Roy, are you kidding me? You're the most competitive guy I've ever met.
I'm saying that art shouldn't be judged.
Do you want a coffee, Jeremy?
Yeah, no thanks.
It's all right. It's probably stale, just like your act.
Oh, you're right. I haven't written a joke in years. There's no need anymore.
Yeah, you didn't write jokes. Oh, you wrote them down.
Hey, I am on to bigger and better things. There's more to comedy than just being funny.
Oh, yeah. And there's the entire problem.
Yeah, exposure, Roy. You know how it works, or maybe you don't.
I didn't become a comic so I could be famous.
Well, that's working out for you.
So when is the next great comic going to air?
It's going to be a summer series. It'll follow reruns of my sitcom.
Wow. An hour of Jeremy Pendleton, like being waterboarded with banality.
I honestly haven't seen your sitcom. Sorry.
Well, let me guess. The sitcom, or so-called comedy, has a laugh track.
Well, we shoot in front of a live audience, but, sometimes we have to sweeten things up.
Oh, yes, the laugh track. A recording of people laughing at something else, stealing laughs from elsewhere, and claiming them as your own.
Okay, sometimes the audience doesn't laugh when they're supposed to.
Ah, yes. Well, did you ever come to the conclusion that it's because the audience didn't find anything that funny?
Yeah, well, that's why we have a laugh track, Roy. Jeez, what part of this don't you get?
Well, it's quite probable that the laughs on the laugh track are coming from individuals who've been dead for years, which makes sense. The long dead laughing at you.
No, that is possible. In fact, it's actually probable. You know, it's just a way to tell the audience where the punchline is.
Oh, well, I guess I've been doing it wrong all these years. I usually let the audience know where the punchlines are by doing the punchlines.
But it's how it works in television, isn't it? I mean, what's the difference between that?
And what?
Well, that
And a Ponzi scheme?
A Ponzi scheme? Really? Nobody's getting hurt. Nobody's being robbed.
Poisons the comedic sensibility of the world.
Oh, that is bullshit.
Imagine if all enterprises worked that way. Oh, I'm sorry, Mrs. Johnson. The heart operation was a failure. Your husband has died. But you can take up this man with dementia.
Why don't you just come watch a taping for yourself? People laugh in the audience all the time.
Oh, yes, that's my very own hell.
I wouldn't mind seeing a television sitcom.
Hey, there's no need to waste your time. I'll do a whole episode for you right now. What's your character's name?
Johnny.
Wow, original. Okay. What is, if I may be so bold, the premise of said comedy?
Okay, I live in an apartment with two other single guys. One guy's Vietnamese and the other one is African American.
Wow, it sounds like Macbeth.
It's a sitcom.
Okay, Act 1. Johnny and the gang are being evicted from the apartment because the landlord thinks they have a dog. Act 2. Johnny proves to the landlord he doesn't have a dog. But here's the complication. Johnny's Vietnamese roommate is accused of eating the dog. And he's arrested.
That sounds pretty good so far.
Act 3. Johnny buys a dog to prove his friend is innocent, but sadly breaks the lease. And here's the tag. Johnny and the roommates eating hot dogs, and the Vietnamese friend says, "I love a good dog."
I like that. Come on, write that up. I will buy that from you.
It's kind of funny, actually.
No, it isn't!
I know, listen, it's not Shakespeare, but what is on television?
Masterpiece Theater.
Change.
Well, the show is probably like your act. Simple and silly.
Well, you got to admit, Roy, my act killed in the one-nighters.
Well, you ever wonder why it killed in all those little towns?
Because it was funny?
No. It was funny to them. Yeah. Because you're using a stereotype. They laugh because you're giving them permission to act like xenophobic bumpkins.
Yeah, well, that is better than getting beaten up by drunken hillbillies for $150.
You emboldened their racism and their ignorance. All you needed, though, was a decent act that didn't play to the lowest common denominator.
I just wanted to get a laugh.
Yeah, that's always been your problem. You had so much energy. You got the crowd into such a lather, they didn't want material after you. They just wanted more silliness.
Roy, I begged you to tell some street jokes instead of trying out new bits.
I wasn't going to tell street jokes. Jesus. If Van Gogh did what he thought would sell, the world wouldn't have had post-impressionism.
Yeah, and maybe Van Gogh wouldn't have died penniless. Like I told you, Roy, there is no money in art.
And like I told you, Jeremy, there's no art in money.
Besides, you are the one who is condescending. If Roy didn't like the audience, he would just tell smarter jokes.
Roy liked an audience?
Remember that Einstein bit?
Of course. They found the handwritten documents for Einstein's theory of relativity, and they know they're authentic because they're dated tomorrow.
It's a thinker.
Hardly anyone got it.
Well, if you travel faster than the speed of light, time goes backwards. It's not complicated.
Well, I better run. It was great seeing you again.
You think it'd be okay to get a picture with you? My mom would love it.
For crying out loud.
Yeah, sure. Just don't put it on eBay. I hear they're going for $100.
Do you mind? Don't get your thumb in the way.
There you go.
Thanks.
Oh, wow. It's just like I thought. Jeremy doesn't show up in photographs.
Yeah, you know, I could probably use that to promo my new book.
You've written a book?
Yeah, an autobiography.
Well, don't you have to do something in your life before you can write about it?
$500,000 advance.
No, for the love of God, someone shoot me directly in the face.
It was really great getting to know you, Sarah. Call me sometime. Roy's got my number.
I'll do that.
Yeah, you know what? On second thought, why don't we get you on the show?
Well, that's really sweet of you, but I really bombed at the audition. I'm just not ready.
She's right. She's not ready.
Yeah, well, we could set it up so you're the underdog, right? Ooh, how about this? The comic who's never been on stage before.
Yeah, but I've done open mics.
Nobody needs to know that.
Oh, yes, I forgot. It's reality television.
Entertainment.
Well, you can do... I don't know, it's disingenuous.
Yeah, well, you can be a part of it too, Roy. How the master taught the student.
That part is true.
Yeah, it's classic story structure. Sarah enters an unknown world, meets the mentor, fights the dragon, seizes the reward. Very Joseph Campbell.
Nothing to lose, right?
We'll introduce her as a surprise comic when the semifinals roll around. You guys have a couple months to get ready.
Thank you. It's a great opportunity.
Oh, come on, a young comic like Sarah with great material? Talk about promotion. Every talk show is going to want this.
It's risky.
Yeah, you think about it, okay? I gotta head out. Roy, it was actually really great seeing you.
Yeah. Oh, Jeremy, could you send me a copy of your autobiography when it's published?
Really?
Yeah, of course.
I'd be honored. Sure.
Yeah, for sure. I've always wanted to take a shit in a book.
Oh, thank you, everyone. Thank you very much. Well, Jihad Jerry. Looks like we have a great crowd tonight. Infidels! Infidels? Take it easy, Jerry. Now, have you been spending time with some Manitoba conservatives? Oh, perhaps I have. Ooh. No. I think we have a really nice crowd here. They're all very white. Yes, that's okay. Don't you think, Jerry, it's important to be respectful of people of all different beliefs and races? If by respectful you mean blow them up real good, well then, yes, of course. So Jerry, tell me. Can anyone become a martyr, or do you have to take a special class or something? Oh, no. Anyone can be a martyr, with one exception. What, an exception? Yes, you cannot be a martyr if you're from Transcona. Really? That sounds kind of odd. Well, why can't you be a martyr if you're from Transcona, Jerry? Well, it's simple. Transcona has no virgins. Okay, Jerry. I think it's time to introduce our next comic. Is he an infidel? No. She is a very funny comedian who didn't make the cut the first time. What? Well, why is she back? Sounds like a conspiracy. No. We just had so many emails and tweets from viewers, we thought we'd better bring her back. She is funny, and I know that you are going to love her. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Sarah Brownstein.
Thank you. So, I'm single. Shocker. I'm divorced, actually. My husband left me. The truth is, he left me because I can't have kids. Yeah, left me because I can't have kids. What happened to the good old days when they left you after they knocked you up? So, I'm thinking of adopting. I want to adopt an older child because they often get passed over. Right now I'm trying to find out if Mark Zuckerberg's parents are still alive. I would be such an amazing mother to him. An adoption, it's really expensive. Even in third world countries, like everything is so freaking cheap except babies. I mean, for $100 you can buy a cow for a whole village, but I can't get a baby for $5,000? Maybe I don't want kids. They're so scary, you know, if something happens or something's wrong with them. My sister has 2 kids, and I'm worried. I think there's something wrong with the little one. He's 3 months old and he still shits his pants. You know, if my ex-husband really likes kids so much, he should just become a priest. Priests really like kids. So I don't know about getting married again. I have an uncle who who just got married for the 4th time, and you could totally tell he wrote his own vows because they started with, look. It's all good. I have cats. I love animals. I belong to PETA and some other animal rights groups. And, you know, some cities are way bigger animal rights activists than others. It's like in Vancouver, you can't swing a dead cat without hitting an animal rights activist. But the thing I don't really understand with the whole free-range chicken, it's more humane to eat free-range chicken. Like, that doesn't actually seem that much more humane. Give the chicken a false sense of security or freedom so he's tastier. Run, my little friend, run so you're succulent. So the animal isn't stressed out about being cooped up. But the best meal you'll ever have is if you can find a rabbit that's been a child's pet. A rabbit that's been loved and cuddled, has a special name, it's been played with. It's tender. That meat practically falls right off the bone. Delicious. You can almost taste the trust. Thank you very much.
Ooh, the crowd was dead. Some hack before me was doing De Niro impressions. You know, horrible De Niro impressions. Like, oh, you looking at me? Huh? Huh? You looking at me? Terrible, terrible. Utter garbage, no jokes.
You didn't stand it?
Yes, the Melrose Improv.
Why didn't you tell me? I would have loved to come.
Oh, the MC brings me up. It is a horrible introduction. He does nothing to get the audience settled. They're still in a froth over the hack with the shitty impressions. So I stare them down. I can feel their energy, and just at the moment before the crowd becomes uncomfortable, I launch into my opener.
New stuff?
Yes, 10 minutes of it. I tell them I've been doing a lot of charity work, and that gets a big oh, which is just as good as an applause break, right? And then I say, yeah, I've been going downtown and putting mints on the sidewalks so that homeless people can know what it's like to stay at a nice hotel.
It worked?
Oh, yes, it killed.
Seems kind of mean.
No, it's a statement on the disparity between rich and poor and the ineffectiveness of a paternal society. It felt good. It felt right. It was authentic.
Well, I'm really happy that it went so well.
Oh, my old agent was there. He wants to represent me again.
That's fantastic. You should give him your script.
Oh, so you like the changes?
Yes. It's always better when someone doesn't die in the end. There
yeah.
has to be hope.
Okay. I suppose there can be some kind of rebirth. The phoenix rising from the ashes. I suppose it's cliche, but nevertheless, it's part of the human condition.
Of course it is. You're living proof. I mean, it's what life is all about. We get knocked down, we get back up again.
Did you order awful pizza?
I heard you were down at the Improv.
Yes, good news travels fast.
Yeah, that's great, Roy. It really is. Heard you were like your old self.
He killed 10 minutes of all new stuff.
Yeah. Big buzz around both of you, actually, which is terrific because I just got back from a meeting with the network.
Well, how are all the whores at the network?
Well, they are hoary, but they absolutely love Sarah.
Really?
Mm-hmm. And they love the clever jokes, Roy. That's all on you.
No, it isn't. Those are Sarah's words, not mine.
Well, whatever. They definitely want to develop something for her own show.
Seriously? Oh my god.
Yeah, they want a pilot.
A pilot? Wow, that's fantastic.
Yeah, I pitched Roy to write it.
Why don't we do Roy scripts? I could play the young woman.
No way.
Yeah, Roy is actually right. It's too, well, theatrical for television. And I mean that as the absolute highest compliment.
Well, for once I agree with you.
Yeah, network has a kernel of an idea for a show. So, young woman, Sarah, drives a cab for a living, yet the network feels like it's time to get back to the classic sitcom.
Classic?
Mm-hmm. Real comedy.
That sounds promising. It's what we've been talking about the whole time.
Okay. A cab driver. Yeah. You know, I've known some really interesting cab drivers. There was one guy who was a Rhodes Scholar. He became an anarchist. He was hell-bent on defeating capitalists, and he drove a cab so he could try and recruit fellow travelers.
And the cab gives you the opportunity to introduce new characters.
The comedy comes naturally. Maybe Sarah's character has a daily fare. A shipping magnate, maybe.
Why would a shipping magnate take a cab?
Yeah, that's a good point. Oh, how about this? He wants to be perceived as a man of the people.
We get the rich perspective from him.
And exactly, and Sarah's character gives us the rest of the world's perspective.
Juxtapose the incongruent.
And Sarah tries to convince him to leave the corporate world and join her movement. She's a smart and capable character, but she has flaws.
She doesn't have kids. She can't have kids.
Her anarchy is her child. I'm liking this.
No, maybe there's a little love interest between me and the Wall Street dude. You think George Clooney would do television?
Yeah, I haven't really thought that far ahead.
Okay, we can put something together. Just a little treatment, maybe a couple of sample pages of a script. So, who are the executives on this? Are they capable, or are they usually creative, challenged dimwits of the world?
They're very enthusiastic.
So are the kids in the Special Olympics.
Well, you know what? Why don't we all go out for a drink and talk about it, okay? This could be really good for all of us.
What?
Network has an outline, it's just a starting point.
It's a starting point.
Yeah, they did some focus groups.
Oh, here we go.
What are focus groups?
A network puts people together who represent the viewing audience.
Civilians.
Yes, Roy, civilian.
People with no comedic skills deciding what's funny.
Network wants to test the waters before millions of dollars get spent.
So a sample of the television audience.
Exactly.
A democratic process.
A democratic process.
And what makes you think that's a good idea?
It kind of makes sense.
No, it doesn't! The democratization of art is its death knell. The creation of all art, including comedy, is, at its heart, an autocratic endeavor.
How can you get opinions from people on something that's not even made?
Well, yeah, that's just it. We showed them your set from the contest, and let me tell you, people howled. They talked about the jokes. They thought they were terrific. Yeah.
So what is this starting point?
Okay, I think it's really funny.
Oh, well, it's already a problem if you think it's funny.
So what is it?
So, like I said, right, the main character is a cab driver, and she has a co-pilot.
Cab drivers don't have co-pilots.
I know.
So what about this made you think it was a good idea?
Why a co-pilot?
It already doesn't make any sense.
They really like the idea of banter. Who are you going to talk to in a cab?
Wow, right. Who are you going to talk to in a cab? Let's see. The people who get in the cab!
And who's the co-pilot?
All right.
What's their character?
Okay, think big funny. They do love this idea, and I gotta say, I think it's a winner. This co-pilot is a sarcastic rabbit. Huh? Huh?
Are you fucking kidding me?
No, I mean, it's like it's part of Sarah's imagination. No one else can see him. I mean, that would be ridiculous.
Sounds...
You're like the worst idea ever
Man,
conceived!
you gotta see this rabbit. He's hilarious.
Great! Why didn't you get him to write the script?
It was gonna be a talking dog at first, but then when they saw Sarah's bit about the rabbit meat, they realized just how much funnier a rabbit would be.
Oh, yes. Everyone knows that rabbits are way funnier than dogs. Oh, but not as witty as the marmoset.
I thought you said they wanted to do a classic sitcom.
Yeah, they do, like Alf.
Alf! Get out! Get out of my apartment!
Hey, the data from the test group indicated that the public isn't hungry for realistic comedy.
Oh! But they're absolutely starving for talking rabbits! Oh, Jesus. No wonder television is such shit. You got mouth breathers making all the decisions.
I'm trying to help you out here, Roy.
Wait a second. Oh, does this rabbit, by any chance, have some resemblance to a puppet you once used in your terrible act?
You mean Randy Rabbit?
Oh, Randy Rabbit. Oh, Didn't he have a catchphrase?
Hump like a bunny.
Hump like a bunny?
Yeah, he's kind of like a horny rabbit. Huh? He was funny. Crowds loved him.
All right.
Randy Rabbit.
I mean, I thought we could do some serious merchandising with
So
it.
you're already thinking about how much money you could make.
Yeah, it's all good. There's only one thing, though, and it's not that big a deal, right? It's the priest joke.
Oh, you mean the funny priest joke that pointed out the priests sometimes enjoy the company of young children?
Hey, man, I liked it, but the country has lots of Christians, so...
No, but you can go on television and perpetuate the idea that all Muslims are terrorists.
You can get away with that kind of stuff on cable.
You get away with it. You don't get away with the truth. You get away with a
The
lie.
network loves Sarah, and they're willing to spend money to create a vehicle for her.
Yeah, a vehicle with a talking rabbit in
Hey,
it.
it's up to you. But if you keep continuing with that kind of material, they're going to assume that you're being difficult.
Well, that kind of material? What kind of material? You mean good material?
I don't make the rules, Roy.
Yes, the old Nuremberg defense.
Yeah, networks got the money. They make the decisions. Don't you want to see her get a break? Network will do what they think is going to draw numbers.
Yeah, that's the problem.
It's a for-profit business.
When you have an opportunity like this, isn't it better to do something original? Isn't it better to do something that could be great? Even if it fails, you could say you gave it your best shot.
But isn't it better to succeed?
A noble attempt is always better than a disgraceful success.
Disgraceful?
I'm not interested in helping you get another horrible show on the air.
It's an opportunity.
An opportunity to do what?
To have a show, Roy, to make some money.
How much money do you need, Jeremy?
Well, you're the best comedy writer I've ever known. Look, I'm not your enemy here. Come on, just think about it.
You're the enemy of the aesthetic, and that makes you my enemy. If shit like this didn't exist, if people like you didn't exist, if you didn't carry their water...
Yeah, my success has nothing to do with your failure, your lack of success.
Oh, it does, actually. Because you and all those like you are my jailers. Your insipid comedy has imprisoned me in this world.
Well, we've been down this road too many times already. If you are not interested, there's nothing I can do about it. If you change your mind, let me know.
I can't believe you thought we'd go for that.
You ever think maybe he has a point?
About what?
Well, that there's a place for that garbage, and that not everyone wants what you want.
Doesn't change the fact that good comedy is pushed out by that garbage.
I know that.
Every time a comedy is made that isn't about something, comedy that's pointless.
No matter how hard you work at trying to stop it, it won't work. It's the way it is. Nothing will change that. It's how the world is.
You don't have to be part of it.
It's an opportunity.
It's a trap.
I don't want to make a decision based on ideology.
It's not, it's values. I call them values.
It's your ideology, Roy. An ideology only serves the idealist.
Yeah, but it's better than serving someone else.
Maybe it is.
You can do whatever you like, but don't expect me to come along for the ride.
Not even in a cab with a sarcastic rabbit?
They've used us.
Let's use them back. I mean, let's say the sitcom is successful. Let's say I get to a point where I'm in a position like Jeremy. Then, well, we could do something else, something great.
It doesn't work that way.
I have to be realistic. I'm a substitute teacher who could
Make some money.
Yes. And it's not like I'm going to change the way I feel about comedy or ignore what I've learned.
Just don't let them change your words.
I can temper it, not change it.
Don't let them.
What's wrong with playing a little ball?
Don't let them.
I don't want to become...
Don't let them.
Why? What's the...
Because it should matter.
I know. I know it should.
It should have meaning. Everything. Everyone should mean something.
You're right. I know. You're right.
It's unfair. It's always been so unfair.
I should go. I have a class tomorrow. So, I'll see you next week, okay?
A sarcastic rabbit. 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 Ah. Member of the taxonomic order of legomorphs. Like if you didn't know what a rabbit was, that would help you? Here's the one that hurts the most. Dictionary is in the dictionary. How is that ever going to come up? Look, could you hand me that large word book? Dictionary. If you have to look up the word dictionary in the dictionary, a small hand should come up, slap you in the face. It's the empty space that gets you in the end. The holes we dig for ourselves. It's the lacuna.
No, it's stop. See, this isn't working. You can't die in the end. It ruins the entire thing. Why did you change it back?
Because that's the way the story ends.
Nonsense. It's too dark.
Well, I'm not interested in changing.
You said we could change the ending.
Well, I said we could discuss it.
Semantics.
Well, it's the end of the story.
In the first scene, when you jump off the chair and the rope is too long, it's funny, right?
Of course it's funny.
Well, because the outcome is different from the expectation.
Yes,
Just like you taught me.
exactly.
So how can hanging yourself be funny?
Well, the audience will expect a gag. And then I die. The outcome is different than the expectation.
Dying isn't funny, it's tragic.
Dying can be hilarious.
You know, I could be on a sitcom right now with a sarcastic rabbit making a shitload of money. Instead, I'm dealing with children all day and a man-child at night.
Yep, but you're extremely miserable.
I am?
And that means you're doing it right.
Yes. And that makes me very happy.
Good, so I can die happy in the end. Whoa! Hey. Bring the chair back.
When you change the ending, I'll consider putting the chair back.
Oh, come on. Just bring the chair back. I've got a lot of things to do today. I'm almost out of scotch. Come on. Bring me back the chair, Sarah.
When you become reasonable, which will likely be never.
Put the chair back, please.
You know, it may be difficult for you to realize this, but you're not always right. And you're wrong about this.
Come on. Put the chair back.
I'll see you later.
Don't go. Sarah! Put the chair back. I will continue to hang here till you put the chair back. I still say it's better if I die at the end.
You know what? You're right.
Bruce Clark, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much.
Speech.
Oh, why?
Thank you everybody for coming. I have to say that it's a pleasure to work. My button broke, and I'll do anything for a laugh. And but it's just a pleasure working with professionals and being from Winnipeg and understanding how much great art there is here. And this is what kind of this play is about. And my good friend Erwin, who's not here with us anymore, but a lot of his jokes are in here, and I hope it's something that can, keep him alive for a long, long time. And I have to ask Sean to just come up here and give you a big hug.
Oh.
This man is the most talented man I've ever worked with. And Trish Cooper, if you haven't seen, we went last night, my wife and I went to see Social Studies at the PTE. Has people seen it? Yes. That is the playwright right there. It's a fantastic play. If you haven't seen it, Toby Hughes. Thank you very much for coming out, everybody.
It's hugging me a lot. I don't like
I
it.
love him. I love him.
It's creepy. This isn't the first show, Bruce.
Anyway, thank you very much for coming out, and I hope to see everybody again. Thanks.